What's up, guys? Welcome back to the MontyVerse. We just got the official trailer for Disney's Disenchanted, the sequel to one of Nicki's favorite movies, Enchanted. And Nicki, are you excited to see this?
I'm very excited to see this. I know the long-awaited sequel that I think more people were excited for was Hocus Pocus 2, but this is by far one of my most anticipated movies this year.
Yeah, and I mean, I recently watched Enchanted. You got me to watch Enchanted, and I loved it. So I'm also pretty excited for this as well. But without further ado, I say we just jump right into it. You ready?
I'm excited. Let's get into it.
All right, guys, starting now.
I know that change can be scary, but it can also be exciting.
Wouldn't she know at this point?
Yeah.
Let's start our new life. Nancy Edward!
Robert!
Aw, baby! Alright, so Idina's definitely singing.
Right away, they're just knocking that out.
Wishing wand.
Does anyone in Andalusia ever just say stuff?
Not if we can help it. This world feels very different. Is it sometimes easier to live in Andalusia?
Well, I wouldn't say easier. We have dragons and ogre rebellions.
Last year, the entire kingdom was trapped in a giant whale.
Oh,
What?
This
That doesn't
is
sound fun.
Not a magic land. It is a land far, far away from my friends.
I'm so late. I'm a commuter now.
You're riding this train over and over and over and over and over.
James
and
Monroe,
over
I go
and
hard.
over, and then you die.
Oh, gosh.
Well,
As
that's
you can see,
depressing.
Giselle, everyone has their place once you've found where you fit. Monroeville can be whatever you wish.
I wish for a fairy tale life.
Remember, happily ever after, it's not always that easy.
My hair, it's so high and my dress is so low.
Jumping jelly sticks. We got magic.
This town is
okay.
turning into a fairy tale, but it's all gone terribly wrong.
On the last stroke of midnight, nothing will be as it was before. I'm not an evil cat. I'm not an evil cat. I'm not an evil cat.
What is going on?
You need to remember your place here.
Stepmother, please.
Giselle
Is under a curse. We have to stop this or everything Andalasian will die.
There's no one wishing your wish now, Giselle.
Come on.
Time to be heroes.
You
Oh,
know
that's
there's
pretty
only room for one villain in this town.
You're hilarious. Delusional, but hilarious.
That looks really good.
I know.
I really okay, now I get the title because
Yeah.
I mean, we in the teaser trailer that we saw, we kind of understood that there was going to be a sort of disenchantment, you know,
Literally.
But we assume we saw the villain turn in the first trailer
Yes.
for Amy Adams for
Mhm.
Giselle, but I really like that this trailer shows us more of the family dynamic now.
Mhm.
And in the first one, I'm sorry, what was the daughter's name?
Morgan.
Morgan was very enthusiastic. She was very, like most kids are. She was innocent and she believed in Giselle and she believed everything she said and she was very drawn to Giselle.
Right, in stark contrast to how Robert was initially trying to dispel the fairy
Yeah.
tales and the magic because he was so embittered from his first wife leaving him.
And in this, she's a teenager. She just moved to the middle of the suburbs, apparently.
Right.
Out of the city, away from her friends.
Mhm.
She's disenchanted to the new life she has.
Right.
And then you have Robert. He is now a commuter, and he's living this life of where in the city of Manhattan is very exciting. There's excitement all around you. Now it's just suburban, and it's the same thing over and over and over again.
Which, by the way, so just really quickly, because my Broadway nerd's coming out, the guy sitting next to him on the train, James Monroe Iglehart, who originated the genie in Aladdin on Broadway, and actually that woman talking to him, I'm blanking on her name, but I believe she's in that musical I just introduced you to, Avenue Q.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
so
a neat little. Well, it's good because speaking of Broadway, one of the complaints that you had from the first movie, and one of the things that was really weird to me
Mhm.
was the fact that they had Idina Menzel in the
Right.
first Enchanted, and she did not sing at all.
Right. Which I didn't inherently have. I a huge
It's
issue
not a
with.
problem, but
Right. And like I do want to say something that I think is a great point that she had. I think I've read that she said is that she was flattered that she was hired on the strength of her acting. Like, yeah, she's obviously an amazing singer, but she's like, hey, I was hired like on this skill alone. So
Yeah.
that, but you got her. You might as well utilize her full talents.
yeah, you have one of the most powerful voices.
Like, defying gravity is no joke.
I love how this trailer was right away within the first like 10 seconds. Like, here's her singing. Don't worry, she's singing in this one. Don't worry.
And I do like that it was a song that, like, it was clearly like a cutesy, fun song to be. It wasn't like a show. I'm expecting she's gonna have a bigger showstopper at some point. So I'm glad they didn't like just expose that immediately.
Yeah, oh man, this looks really fun. I love seeing Patrick Dempsey. I'm sorry, not Patrick Dempsey. Just fully commit to like this fairy tale. Like he's gonna become the prince,
right?
Like in this one, and like battle and have a sword and things like that.
Well, that's what I really enjoyed about this. And what I wanted to say off the bat is, on the one hand, in terms of the actual story, I don't think this revealed like a whole lot. Like we knew basically the direction it was going based on the teaser, and so in that regard, like nothing in this was like shocking beyond belief. But I think you're right in that showing more of the character moments, and I think he's a good example of. He's a character who, like, is very clear, like, the kind of person he was in the first one. He's a little bit more jaded and skeptical. And I like the fact that those aspects of his personality, like, haven't gone away. Like, he's still practical. He's worried about his family and work. But he's also come to accept this aspect of Giselle and where she came from.
He's willing to just, like, give himself up to it a little bit.
Right.
Because that's just the life he's been living in with Giselle.
And he might not have a choice in this instance.
Yeah, he might not have a choice.
But again, though, it's fun watching that, though, because I also like the idea of him being a little bit more proactive in the story, too.
Yeah, I think the themes are what this trailer did is it showed us the themes that are going to be present in this movie.
Right.
More than anything. I think now we know, like, what this story is about. And it's about, like how kind of the monotony of life can weigh you down a little bit the older you get, and you lose the magic.
Right, and I think especially for Giselle, that's hitting her very hard. And then the big thing to me that this trailer kind of clarified that was missing a little bit in the teaser is Maya Rudolph's Malvina's role in the story, because obviously, like, she was, first of all, her name is Malvina.
If she's not a bad guy, I don't know what she is.
Right. Which, by all means, that, like, something that on the nose works for this tone.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was gonna say is, like, she was clearly a villain, but we didn't know exactly, like, in what capacity. But now it's in this, like, disenchanted fairy tale that Giselle is now having go on. They're now competing for, like, who's, like, the actual villain of the story, which to me is very interesting, because I was trying to figure, like, well, if Giselle's the evil stepmother, then where does she fit into this?
Which one? It's a good to have, like, you need to have someone take on the villain, but the fact that it's not like a good like magic user versus a bad magic user, it's not black and white, is fascinating to me. It's gonna be two people like, oh, I'm the more evil one. Let's fight to see who's more evil. That's something you don't see a lot, especially in like Disney movies.
Right.
So I really like that aspect of it.
Yeah, it's a more interesting dynamic than generic good versus evil. And like we can even argue like, oh, but like the heroes aren't always 100% perfect or right. But it's like, yeah, but like this is a different dynamic. And this way, it's not a case of Giselle is the 100% like only force of evil who has to be stopped.
Yeah, Giselle's almost like her own worst enemy in this movie.
Yeah, where she already struggled with the one adjustment with going there to begin with. So, like you said, disenchanted. She's now becoming disenchanted with the aspects of her life that are not as easy.
She's missing the magic a little bit.
Right.
And she feels like maybe that magic is gone. And I really like it. I think this is going to be another, after watching the first one, I'm like, okay, this is actually, like, there's a lot of strong themes and motifs in here, and it's actually a well-written movie. And I think a lot of that's going to carry over into this one.
Yes.
Give me all the James Marsden. Like, the way that Giselle and Malvina have an evil fight, I want Patrick Dempsey and James Marsden to have a handsome fight. Like, who's the most handsome? And then they both win, because they're both so damn handsome.
Aww. And they're like, and what's so great about them as characters is that they're both good, but they're also so antithetical to each other, just as characters.
Yeah.
But that was the other thing.
They're great foils for each other.
And that's what I think made the first movie so great is like, yeah, it was so clear that she was going to end up with Robert. but you weren't necessarily angry at one or the
No.
other for it, because they're both deeply flawed characters, but they're both very lovable at the same time.
No, there was no malice in regards to. I'm sorry, what's James Marsden's character's name here?
Edward.
Edward. There was no.
I gotta teach you more.
I know. I have to watch this movie more. Edward was really just trying to do what he believed in, and he was trying to
Right.
like he believed in love at first sight, and he believed in
Yeah.
this innocent romantic love.
Right.
And I'm glad that he got a happy ending, and I'm glad that Idina Menzel got a happy, because she was kind of a victim in the first
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
She didn't really.
She did nothing wrong.
And I love how mature she was about it. She's just like, you know what, we don't have this. You guys have this.
Right.
Like,
And by all means, like, you can laugh at the fact that, okay, and now she's instantly with Edward. But again, I think for this kind of movie that, like, is kind of getting into, like, that satirical parody, like, it's skirting that line. It's like, you know what, I can buy it. And who's to say that love at first sight can't happen?
That was probably my only complaint. Like, I really love the first movie. My only complaint is that she needed one or two more scenes
Right.
to kind of flesh out the fact that they're not working out, and that she wants that impulsive, like,
Right.
romantic, like, everything is lovey-dovey
Oh, yeah.
love.
Yeah, like, even if she wasn't gonna sing in the first one, I would have happily taken another scene or two with her.
Yeah, I mean, but this one, it looks to be remedying a lot of the downs. Well, there wasn't a lot of downsides in the first one, but we're getting more Idina Menzel, which is great. We're getting. I really want to see. I would love to see Robert and Edward work together in this movie. I'd love to see their bromance, kind of like Edward have to show Robert the ropes of being like a prince, and maybe when in the beginning of the movie, when Edward comes, Robert shows him the ropes of just being like a guy, just being like a normal guy.
Right, which is gonna be like him just going on a date in the first one was already like hard
Yeah.
enough for him. Imagine like anything else in the mundanity of the real
Yeah,
world.
but this trailer's so great because it recycled a lot of stuff from the teaser. So we're not given a ton of stuff. We're given a couple of I don't want
Right.
to say spoilers, but
It's revealing a little bit more, but I think again what is a huge strength is it showed more scenes and more of like the characters and what they're all going through. But it again, because it was a lot of similar beats, it didn't feel like it spoiled anything. Like,
no.
Like I even told you, like, I was kind of nervous to watch this because I was like, oh god, we already have the first one. Is this one gonna ruin the movie? And I do not feel like it did.
No, if just anything, it just kind of let us know definitively this is what the movie is going to be about, and I'm excited. 100%.
I am too.
I'm really excited. Nikki, anything else you want to bring up about this trailer?
Honestly, I'm just so excited for this movie. It's only a few more weeks away. Easily one, like I said, one of my most anticipated. And honestly, maybe before I might have been nervous about it being just on Disney Plus, but I think that's just a lot of how releases are anymore. And I don't think it's like the death sentence I might have previously thought it was.
Because again, we talked about this in the teaser trailer. Disney has to cater to they have so many different age groups and fan bases. They have to have something for everyone to draw them into Disney Plus.
Yeah.
They have the Disney Plus Marvel TV shows and the special presentations. They have the Star Wars exclusive TV series.
Yeah.
But they need like this is gonna hook in your older Disney princess, Disney fairy tale, romantic Disney crowd.
Right. It's like, and that's why even though I like, for example, Until Lightyear, all of the newer Pixar movies were exclusively released on there. And even though it sucks to not see some of the more beloved works on the big screen, I also think it's not necessarily an insult to the work. It's just Disney being like, hey, like, people are gonna like this so much, we can get them to subscribe.
Absolutely.
So
100%.
However, whatever format I can see it in, I'm excited.
Me too. But we'll definitely be checking out Disenchanted. Sorry. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest content. And until next time, guys, stay versed.